gonna try to make a short video. I don't know, because I got like 3 or 4 things to talk about. But number one is how they control the populations. How they've done it for years and years and years. It's not something that's new. Alright? And the reason they do this is it's obvious. It's power. Okay? The 1% and the elites, they would not exist if they did not do this. Okay? They want to put controversial stuff out there all the time, you know, where people like me, I see through it, because I don't necessarily think, you know, that people are always telling me the truth. That's the way I was raised. I was raised basically, you know, that you can't trust no one, and it's a good way. It's a good way to think, to be honest with you. But how they do this, the controlling thing. I'm gonna take COVID-19 for because that's the big topic. I believe that it exists. I don't believe it is any worse than the regular flu. I don't. And the death tolls has fell ever since they got your attention about it. Now the death tolls has fell, and you know, there's still really no cure for it. Wonder how that happened. Wonder why that happened. But the mainstream media keeps telling you know, all this other crap, which is controlled and owned by China. Look it up. They are. They get their funding from China. So you're going to believe a communist country that controls your media, controls what they tell you. But you're going to believe that, right? You know, that makes sense. But if you do believe it, that's fine and good. People like me that don't believe it, that because we disagree, that makes us enemies. And that's how they have been controlling mankind since the beginning of time. That simple. If you don't agree with me, I don't consider you my enemy. I would like to educate you and show you what I know and show you factual evidence that will back up what I'm telling you, and that will debunk all of your so-called factual evidence. Because once you put the two into play, then it's you. Then you have to think with an open mind and use common sense and see which one fits and which one doesn't. What the mainstream media is pushing about COVID don't fit. It don't fit at all. Like for instance, trying to make everybody wear a mask. Okay, if you wear a mask and your mask works, why do I have to wear one? See, that's what I'm saying. I'm not going to sit all day and breathe my own exhaust. I'm not going to do it. Because I already know several people, personally, that has gotten deathly sick from breathing in their own exhaust. Several's been hospitalized with having asthma attacks, panic attacks. You can't breathe in carbon monoxide, people. You can't do it. Your body don't run like that. I'm sorry. You sitting there doing that shit all day, think about it. But I'm not going to wear a mask. But I'm not going to tell you to take yours off. That's the difference. But see, the people who wear a mask wants to tell me to put one on. That's when we get into socialism and communism. And that's when I say, you know, and something's got to give. Because, I mean, just luckily ain't nobody told me to put a mask on. Because I know what'll happen. I know what I'm capable of doing. So, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to hurt nobody. I don't. But you're not going to tell me how to live my life. You're not going to do it. But I'm not going to tell you how to live yours. So, we need to learn how to disagree without fighting, without causing a ruckus, without acting like fools. I like for everybody that watches this to live by this one simple little rule, or one simple little thing. It ain't really a rule, but you can make it one of your rules. Consider everything you hear. Consider it, but believe nothing. Look at it with an open mind. Come up with your own conclusion. Research it. Whatever makes sense to you, you know, I guess then that would be your truth. But what makes sense to me is my truth. Alright? And that's just as simple as it is. But people that's running around just listening to the mainstream media and not doing a bit of research on their own, are only looking at research on one side of the equation. You know, you can't never get the truth by looking at one side. You're going to get what you want to hear, but you're not going to get the truth. Quit being so damn offended because someone disagrees with you. So what? They disagreed with you. You know, when people disagree with me, you know what I do? I punch them in the mouth. No, I don't punch them in the mouth. I listen to what they say. And I tell them to change my mind. And you know what? Not one of them has been able to change my mind because, for one, they can't tell me what websites to go to research this stuff, and to prove to me what they're telling me is the truth. What they're telling me is their truth, and the mainstream media's truth. But that does not make it true, people. You know, we could be on the edge of World War III right now. We could be. I'm not ruling it out, because I know in my heart that it has to happen. In order for America to go back to the way America was designed to operate, World War III has to happen. And I can, big old breeze. And I can explain to you why it has to happen. And I've explained in my last videos why it's going to happen. You know, it's all about money, it's all about power, it's all about that 1%, and it's all about the elites. It ain't about being you. It's all about them. You know, the Democrats messed up when they allowed China to start investing money into our infrastructure, like our public schools, and now China basically owns, they own our public school system. China owns our public school system under a different name, but it's China's money. Okay? If you don't believe me, you can look this up. Go to ask.com and ask this question. Who invests the most in America's infrastructure? And it's going to be a big old long article, so if you ain't ready to read, don't do it. And if you ain't ready to learn, don't do it. And if you ain't ready to accept the truth, don't do it. Because it's going to piss you off, it's going to scare you, and it should scare you. COVID-19 should not scare you. But what you learn by doing what I just asked you to do will scare you. And then it will all make sense. Then it will all the pieces will fall right into place. And then you'll know why the schools have changed so drastically in the past 30 years. You'll see why prayer was took out of schools. You'll see why the Pledge of Allegiance was took out of schools. You will see why American history was took out of schools. You will see it. So, if you really want to learn, you really love your country, you know, always remember, always the very few that overrule the majority when it comes to socialism. So whether you think, oh, there's too much of us for that to happen, you're wrong. Every time that it's ever happened in history, socialism, communism, whatever, it's all the same thing. Progressive, socialist, communist, it's all the same word. It means the same thing. It's always been the very few that overrode the majority. You can take Hitler's Germany and study that, and you'll see what I'm talking about. So, sorry if I offended anybody, but that's the way it is. And if you don't want to learn your American history, and if you don't care about this country, then don't do nothing I ask. But if you do happen to care about your country, and you happen to care what's going to happen to your grandchildren, and you happen to care what's going to happen to their grandchildren, you know, George Washington didn't do all what he did just for him. He was thinking outside the box. He was thinking something a lot larger than he would ever be. And I think that's what y'all need to start doing. I'll catch y'all later.